Hello everyone, and finally welcome to part 3 of our Unity tutorials. It's about time we did this, isn't it? Because I haven't actually uploaded for a very long time, especially with this series. Part 2, I think, is about a year old now, so, I thought it was about time I actually continued. Okay, so, when the last video finished, there was a lot of requests for GUIs. I didn't expect that we'd be doing this so early on, but, it's what people want, so we're gonna get started with that. There are a few things you need to know first before we get into GUIs, as in there are some built-in methods which you need to know, and just a bunch of basic stuff. So let's get started. I've already created a file called tutorial GUI, and inside is just the standard one. So we're gonna open this up in our standard editor. Okay, so once you're here, you're gonna have the two standard functions, start and update. But to use GUIs, you need to have a special function called onGUI. Has to be typed exactly like I do, otherwise it will not work. This is pretty similar to update, as in it's run every frame, but it's for GUIs only. For example, if you tried to run a GUI in an update function, it would not work. You have to do it here. The main class in which we use the GUIs, usually in Unity, is GUI. Simple as that. And underneath this is all the different functions in that you will probably need to use to get your GUIs working. So the most simple one we need to use is a box GUI. This takes two parameters. It takes a shape and a string. Now the shape is a rectangle, and this itself takes four parameters. It takes the X position, the Y position, the X size, and the Y size. So the X size, for example, we can do is 40. Y offset, it could be something like 30. Y size, X size, say 80, and Y size could be something like 50. And then we close that up, put a comma, and this is where we name it. So we can just name this test now. Close it up and hit that semicolon, and that is it for a basic GUI. Well, box GUI anyway. So once you save this, it's just going to get imported into Unity, and you just want to create a new null object to handle your GUIs. So go to game object, create empty, and just drag your tutorial GUI on this. If I name this something else, for example, GUI handler, and that'll do. So just whack play, and you should see it in the top left corner of your screen. You have to note though that this is relative to the top left hand corner. It's not relative to the center. So the top left hand pixel is where you are defining this from. So this is 40 pixels from the top left, and this is 30 pixels down from the top left. So yeah, that's how things work here, but you're going to have to get used to that. So next is buttons on our GUIs. Okay, making a button is slightly different from doing it the normal way. This bit is still the same, except now you need an if statement. This is just to check if the player has pressed it or not. So you just want GUI.button. Same principles apply, rectangle. However, for the coordinates, I recommend doing a 10 pixel offset from the last one. Basically, what I'm saying is you want to do 50 here and 40 here, so it is 10 pixels from the left and 10 pixels from top. Okay, so now you want to do the size again. I recommend something smaller than this, otherwise your button's going to go off the side. It's not really going to look that neat. So I'm just going to do something like 70 and 30. Close it up, bracket, comma. And you want to name this, so I'm just call it hello, why not? And you want to do two brackets, so you close up this, and you want to hit one of these, as you do in any program. And we're just going to close it up for now. We haven't imported anything yet. So just save it. It's going to get automatically imported again. and you just want to hit play. So, as you can see, there's a little problem here, but you can get the gist of what I'm trying to tell you here. There's the button here, and you've got the background. So you're probably wondering, how do we incorporate this with our game? As in, we walk up to a guy or an NPC, and you hit a key, and they start talking to you about quest or something. That part is a little bit more complicated. I think we can go over it in this tutorial. So, as normal, we're going to do what we did last tutorial, in that we have a stupid old character which I've whipped up in about 2 seconds. Just drag it in. I'll probably have to put this in the description, but, you know, whatever. Doesn't matter. I'll put that there, and go game object, create other, and cube. Just drag this to where your guy is as normal. I'll probably just skip this part because sometimes it can take a while. Okay, so once you have your cube in position, you just want to get rid of its mesh renderer, and so it doesn't like show up. Bam, gone. And you want to select is trigger as normal on the box collider. So you want to delete everything which we already did on GUI, and we're going to create 2 variables, and these are Booleans. If you don't know what Boolean is, it basically checks if something is true or false, and if it's true or false, it does something accordingly. So we're going to call this var_HUD, and we're going to call it Boolean equals false. And you want to do the same for another one. Check key down. This is also a Boolean, and it's going to be false as well. And we're going to use 3 functions, one of which I've covered in a previous tutorial, so you should know what it is. So it's function on trigger enter, so we covered that. Next one is function on trigger exit, which is essentially the same as on trigger enter, except it's called when the person leaves the area. And last one, which we are making ourselves, which is key handle. And inside update, you want to call the key handle function so that it checks if the person is pressing it every frame, not just once. Okay, so in here you want to have a simple if statement. Here we go. If input dot get key down key code e equals true, then it does this. Basically, what's just happening is it's going to check if the E key is down, and if it's true, then it's going to do whatever inside the if statement. And basically, you're just going to check if check key down is false. So whenever someone does that in coding, at least with Java anyway, when you put an exclamation mark before the Boolean name, it means if that is not true, if it's false, like it's set here, then you just want to set check key down to true, and then you want to do else. So it's, else means if this isn't true, then do this instead, which means the only other way we could do it was to set it back to false again. Basically what it's doing here is basically when the E key is pressed, the GUI is going to show, and when you press it again, it's going to close the GUI. And then on GUI, you just want to add this to the function. If HUD equals true, and basically you need to do 2 ampersands here to donate and you want to put check key down equals true. You didn't really need to put the equals true part, since you could just put the name in, but I was going to do that anyway. Now with this HUD bit, you want to do on trigger enter HUD equals true, and on trigger exit HUD equals false. Simple as that. And here we just do the GUI. So I'm just going to do a simple box GUI. Why not? And we're just going to make a rectangle at, say, number 100. No, actually no, 20 away, 100 down, 100 along, and about 50 down. Close that up, and we want to put our name. We're just going to say box, since no, just a box. Or in here you could just put what the quest actually says. Say, hey, I need your help, and close that up. put 2 of these. In fact, no, you only need 1 of those. And you just want to close that up. Simple as that. And you want to save it. And you want to go back to Unity. And once you're here, you want to go to your GUI handler and you want to remove the tutorial GUI from this. And instead, you want to put it to your cube. Simple as that, and then you run it simply. And so you can walk up to your guy, hit E, and although I didn't really do that very well, it's going to be there. The GUI is gone. It's there even. And when you walk out, it goes. Walk back in, it's gone. And it's here. And you just hit E again, it goes. That's all I can really cover in this tutorial. Next time we're going to be going into like starting a quest from whether someone presses yes or no using the buttons, and just some more GUI functions. So I hope this tutorial has helped you. If it has, like the video and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Have a good day.